You're not lazy. You're not careless. And you're definitely not the only one feeling this. So why does it still feel like, no matter how much you earn, you're always one step behind? For a moment, everything looks fine. You check your bank account. There's money there. Maybe not a lot, but enough to breathe. And for a second, you feel okay. Like maybe this time, things are under control. But then it starts. Rent is coming. Your phone bill, groceries, gas, subscriptions you barely remember signing up for. And suddenly, that number in your account doesn't feel like money anymore. It feels temporary, like it was never really yours to begin with. It's just sitting there, waiting to be taken. And the weird part is, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't go on a shopping spree. You didn't waste it on something stupid. You just lived. You paid for the things you needed to survive. And somehow, that was enough to drain everything. It's like your paycheck isn't something you receive. It's something that passes through you, in one side and out the other, almost like a conveyor belt. Money comes in and immediately gets pulled in different directions before you even have time to decide what to do with it. And every month, it's the same cycle. You work, you get paid, you pay everything off, and you're back exactly where you started. Still tired, still stressed, still wondering why it feels so hard just to stay afloat. And the worst part is, it doesn't feel like you're moving forward. No matter how many times you tell yourself, next month will be different. It never really is, because something always comes up. An unexpected bill, a price that quietly went up, a small expense that shouldn't matter, but somehow does, and it keeps stacking, little by little, until one day, you realize you're not building anything. You're just maintaining damage. Every dollar you earn is already solving a problem that existed before you even got paid. So instead of getting ahead, you're constantly catching up. And that feeling, it stays with you. Even on the days you're supposed to feel okay. You go out with friends, but in the back of your mind, you're calculating. You buy something small and immediately feel a little regret. Not because it was expensive, but because, that money could have gone somewhere else, somewhere more important. And slowly, without even realizing it, money stops feeling like freedom. It starts feeling like pressure, like every decision has weight, like every choice has consequences. And no matter how careful you try to be, it still feels like it's not enough. Like you're doing everything right, but somehow still losing. And that's the part that really gets to you. Because when there's no clear mistake, there's no clear fix. So you're left there, questioning yourself, wondering if you're the problem, wondering if maybe you're just bad with money. But what if none of this is actually your fault? What if the reason you feel stuck isn't because you're bad with money, but because you were never really given a chance to get ahead in the first place? Think about it. Before your paycheck even hits your account, it already has a destination. Rent is waiting, bills are scheduled, debt is due, and all of it comes first, not later. Not when you're ready, immediately. So by the time you finally see your money, you're not deciding what to do with it. You're just reacting, responding to everything that's already been set in motion. And that changes everything, because now you're not managing money. You're managing obligations. You're managing pressure. You're managing a system that was designed around constant outflow, where money doesn't sit. It moves, fast, from your hands to somewhere else, over and over again. And the more you try to keep up, the more it feels like you're falling behind. Not because you're failing, but because you're playing a game where the rules were never really in your favor, where stability is just barely within reach, but never quite secure. And that's why it feels so exhausting. Because deep down, you're not just trying to be responsible. You're trying to keep up with something that was never built to slow down for you. Here's what's really happening. Your money isn't disappearing. It's being pre-assigned. Before you even get paid, your income is already divided into categories you didn't fully choose. Housing, food, transportation, debt, These aren't optional. They're fixed, and over time, they take up more and more space. Prices go up, rent increases, interest builds. But your income? It doesn't always keep up. So the gap gets tighter, month by month, without you even noticing it at first. And when that gap gets tight enough, you lose flexibility. You lose room to breathe, because now every dollar has a job before it even reaches you. There's nothing left to decide, nothing left to move around. And that's when it starts to feel like you're stuck. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because there's no space left to do anything different. You can't save because everything is already needed. You can't invest because there's nothing extra to put aside. You're not building forward. You're maintaining balance, barely. And once you're in that position, even small changes feel big. A slightly higher bill, a small emergency, a missed payment. It doesn't take much to throw everything off. So you adapt. You cut back. You delay things. You tell yourself you'll fix it later. But later never really comes, because the structure stays the same, and you're still inside it. And after a while, you stop expecting things to change. Not because you've given up, but because you've adapted. You learn how to live inside the pressure. You become careful. You think twice. You calculate everything. Not to grow, but just to avoid falling behind. And that changes you, slowly. You stop seeing money as something that creates opportunities and start seeing it as something that limits them. You hesitate more. You overthink small decisions. You delay things that actually matter to you because they don't feel safe right now. And right now somehow never passes. It just keeps repeating over and over again, month after month, year after year, until one day you look back and realize you've been working this whole time, but you don't feel any further ahead. Not really, and that's a hard feeling to sit with, because it doesn't feel like failure. It feels like confusion, like you did what you were supposed to do. You worked, you stayed responsible, you tried to be careful, and yet it still feels like something isn't working. And maybe that's the point you were never meant to question. Because when you think it's your fault, you keep trying harder in the same system. You push yourself more. You blame yourself more, without ever stepping back to ask, is this even designed to work for me? Because if everything around you is built to take first and leave you with what's left, then of course it feels like you're always catching up. Of course it feels like you're always behind, not because you're failing, but because you're starting from a position where winning was never easy to begin with. And maybe the problem isn't that you don't know how to manage money. Maybe the problem is you've been trying to find control in a situation that was never fully in your control. And once you see that, things start to feel different, not easier, but clearer. Because now, it's not just about working harder. It's about understanding what you're actually up against and why. No matter how much effort you put in, it never quite felt like enough.